So you want to build an app for your business, and now you're stuck with this question. Should you go with a web app or a native app? If you're an entrepreneur or investor facing this decision, this video is for you. But here's the thing. Most discussions about this jump straight into technical comparisons when that's actually not the right place to start. Let me show you a more practical approach to making this decision. First, let's take a step back and ask a really basic question that might sound strange in today's app-dominated world. Do you even need an app at all? I know this sounds counterintuitive, but we've seen startups waste significant money developing apps that nobody uses. Sometimes a well-organized Notion board, a simple spreadsheet, or even a basic website might be all you need. Before diving into development, ask yourself, what problem are you solving? And is the app really the most efficient solution? And now, let's say you thought it through and determined you definitely need an app. Here's where it gets interesting and a bit shocking. Most people abandon 77% of apps just 3 days after downloading them. 3 days! That's a staggering statistic that should change how we think about app development. This leads us to what I believe is the most crucial question you should ask. How often will your users actually need your app? This is absolutely critical to your decision. Think about it. If you're building something people will use daily, like a fitness tracker or messaging app, going native makes sense. Users don't mind installing an app they'll open every day. But if you're creating a tool people might use only once every few months, like a specialty calculator or a seasonal shopping tool, do you really want to ask them to go through the entire app installation process? In those cases, a web app they can simply visit in their browser might be more practical. Now let's talk money, because budget is always a consideration. Web apps typically cost 30 to 40% less to develop than native apps. If you're on a tight budget or testing a concept, that's significant. Beyond the initial cost, there are also the development timeline and talent availability to consider. With web apps, you can usually get to market faster and it's easier to find developers. Plus, when you need to make updates, you only need to do it once, not separately for iOS and Android. But I'm definitely not saying web apps are always the answer. Native apps have clear advantages in specific scenarios. Native apps still provide the smoothest user experience and deeper integration with device features. If your app needs to work with the camera, handle complex gestures, send push notifications, or provide real-time feedback, native development might be the better choice. Native apps also perform better when working offline or processing data-intensive tasks. And if you're targeting users who already spend most of their time in apps rather than browsers, native could give you an edge. What we've learned from years in this industry is that it's not about following trends or what others are doing. It's about choosing the right tool for your specific needs. For many businesses, starting with a web app to test your idea and gather feedback makes sense. Then, as your user base grows and you confirm product market fit, you can consider investing in native apps. This staged approach reduces risk and allows you to allocate your resources more efficiently. To help you make this decision, here's a simple framework. Consider web apps if your users will use the app infrequently, or you have budget constraints, you need to get to market quickly, your features don't require deep device integration, or you need to iterate rapidly based on user feedbacks. But consider native apps if your users will use the app daily, user experience is critical to your value proposition, you need access to device features like camera or sensors, performance and offline capabilities are important, or your users are already app-focused rather than web-focused. There's no one-size-fits-all answer in the web versus native debate. But by asking the right questions about user frequency, budget, and technical requirements, you can make a decision that sets your project up for success. Let's recap the key takeaways. Native apps work better with phone features and provide smoother experiences. Web apps cost less money and are quicker to build. Always ask how often users will need your app before deciding. If you have questions about your specific project, feel free to reach out to us. We help businesses make these decisions every day. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical business tech advice. Thanks for watching.